Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video I am going to talk about You and Idol PreCure, the movie. Earlier this year, I fulfilled a dream of mine, which was going to Japan, and I went to Japan while the You and Idol PreCure movie was in theaters, so I was lucky enough to be able to enjoy and have this amazing experience of watching a PreCure movie in theaters. Oh my god, it was incredible. So I have done a video here on the channel. You can check it out if you'd like, for me talking about my first impressions of the movie. And I also shared the merch that I bought while I was there watching it. And I did this video, but I want to do another one elaborating a little more on how I felt with the movie and also answering the questions you guys sent me on Instagram and here on YouTube as well. So let's do this. I'm going to do a little overview of the movie with no spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled about what happens in the movie and everything else, so this little section is for you. So let me just talk about my general feelings for this movie. Clearly, to me, this is like one of my favorites already. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of my life. I loved it, and obviously it has to do with the whole experience of being able to be there, of being able to enjoy the fantasy. It is completely different, being on the store, checking out the merchandise first, and then getting the Matadon cup. Where is my Matadon cup? Here it is. Look, I even got the Matadon cup while I was there. It was truly a blessing. So obviously, it has to do with the experience as a whole, but the movie itself is really, really gorgeous. Visually, it's a feast to the eyes. It is stunningly beautiful. It is really impressive. The visuals of this movie are really top-notch. The 3D, the CG scenes, you guys are not ready. The quality is really, really up there. It is clearly the best CG we've ever had in PreCure, together with other CGs like from the Happiness Charge era, the Go Princess era. That were really, really pretty, stunningly beautiful. This one is, again, top notch. The performances, the songs, the emotional moments, everything was really, really a 10 out of 10 to me. This movie tells the story of someone who has been lonely, someone who has felt abandoned, who found happiness and who found solace in an idol, who found a connection, who found a friend. And it is really beautiful, but it also talks a little bit, it touches a little bit on the parasocial relationships between a fan and an idol, and what do you expect from an idol as well. This was a very good talk about it. But also, it touches on friendship a lot, as PreCure always does. It touches on helping each other, on relying on each other, and being able to open up to people as well. The story of this movie is really touching. It is really beautiful, and I really like. One of the things that I liked the most about it is the pacing of the movie. It felt like a story being unfolded onto our eyes, piece by piece. Really, really beautiful. I adore this movie. It was a moment of connection between me and what I was watching. I found the message really beautiful. The characters are all very good. The 5 that we already know, they all shine a lot in the movie. The new characters are also incredible. I fell in love with Tera, who is the main character in terms of the new characters. Tera is super, super amazing. You guys are not ready for her. We have Amas, who is a super interesting character. We have other characters that also have their importance. It is a very fun movie as well. You laugh, you cry. In the session that I was, lots of people were crying while some emotional moments happened in the movie. So get ready for that. It really, really is an incredible idol movie. You guys get ready. I also want to watch it again as well, because obviously I watched it once, so I want to watch it more to remember certain details and to see certain things again. Truly, truly incredible. So now let's go over to a spoiler-ish section of this movie. And I mean, spoiler-ish as in I'm going to talk about events of the movie itself. First of all, I just want to go over a little overview of this movie just to explain how it is. So let's go. The movie starts with a performance, and the girls are performing the UN Idol opening and on stage, the 5 idols. And they are rehearsing for the Super Idol Miracle Festival that is happening on a place called Ai Island. They are already there. And then we get to see how they went to this place and why they went to this place. They were invited as idols, and when they put their bracelets on, they got transported into Ai Island. And Ai Island is this magical place in which lots of people, lots of species come together, and lots of different idols come together to perform on an event, and it's also a festival, and it's kind of also a competition. They do this competition because there is a goddess. It is kind of like a praising to this goddess that once protected Ai Island. The goddess now is just a statue. And we're going to discover the story behind this goddess, because while the girls are there, there is an attack of evil creatures called Yami Kurage. You've probably seen them in the trailers. It is those dark-ish jellyfishes. And they attack, the girls start fighting them, and they get transported into the past. When they get to the past, they get separated. We have Uta and Meruran in one side, Nana, Kokoro, and Purirun on the other side. Uta and Meruran, they get to know someone named Tera, who is a lonely girl who is all by herself, and she helps both Uta and Meruran through hurdles and hardships while she starts opening up. But she also says that she hates idols a lot. On the other side, we have Nana, Kokoro, and Purirun. And even though Purirun is just that big ball of chaos, just wanting to be funny, we have the 3 of them trying to understand what's going on, where they are, at which point in time they are. During this moment, we also see some flashbacks of Amas, the goddess, and someone, a special someone. And we get to know and understand the story of Ai Island. In the past, Amas wasn't a statue. She was a goddess. And this goddess was someone who always prayed for the safety of the land, for the safety of the island. But she was always by herself. She was sad. That was her role. She had to fulfill it, but she was sad. And then a mysterious idol appeared and joined the island. This mysterious idol performed for people. She made people happy and she made people cheer for them. Amas fell in love with this idol. She was crazy about her. And for the first time, Amas was able to feel happy. She was able to feel joy. She was able to have something inside of her that she was not able to before. And she was able to have bonds and connections, which is the theme of You and Idol PreCure, the rebonds that connect us. And Amas was finally able to have this rebond with this idol. They got very close. They had a very strong and powerful relationship. They became very good friends. And Amas asks for this idol to stay with her forever. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That legendary idol is a human, while Amas is a legendary creature, a spirit, a goddess. Time flows differently for both of them. So this idol left the island, and Amas was all by herself, desperate, lonely, and abandoned. That made her resent idols. That made her resent performances. And that made her resent her own role into protecting the island. Because of her sadness, the Yamikurage got close to her and they captured her, turning her into a monster. But she was still able to break a piece of the coral in her head and throw it away, and that eventually became Terra. Terra is what was left of Amas, but still with the resentment that she felt over the idols. That is why Terra hates idols so much. But why did the idol leave the island in the first place? Why couldn't she stay there? An idol is a moment in time. It is a moment of the life of that specific person. And that idol was popular, was young, was pretty. She was able to perform. But as time went by, she was gonna get older. Her body would change. Her voice would change. Her ability to stay on stage would change. She would never be able to stay forever close to Amas, because time would pass for the legendary idol, but it wouldn't pass the same for Amas. The legendary idol left the island, thinking that her image in her prime would be enough for Amas to be happy. She didn't want Amas to see her as an old lady. She didn't want Amas to see her dying. And that is why she left Amas. That is why Amas was left behind in a way. The intentions of the idol weren't bad, and Amas wasn't abandoned. She still had the memories. She still had the bond that they have created. This bond would live forever with Amas, but it wouldn't live forever with the idol, because the idol would eventually pass away. And that's what happened. But she left a diary. And this diary was later found by the Cures, and the Cures understood what actually went on with Amas and why she was so sad. But they also understood the side of the idol. And because of that, they went after Amas, and then the last battle of the movie starts. I am going to go over the questions now because related to the questions, there are also lots of questions about the fight scenes and the transformations and everything else, and they are related to this last part of the movie, so let's go over them. I'm going to start with questions from Instagram because I think there are fewer questions. So the first one was done by Bix, and the question is, this is the first time I'm watching the current season. Should I skip it until I watch all the season it feeds? So if you're talking about the fact that the You and Idol PreCure movie features Hirogaru Sky and Wonderful PreCure, I don't think it's a problem. If you haven't seen Wonderful, if you haven't seen Hirogaru, and you want to watch the movie, I don't think you're going to miss much. They don't appear much in the movie, but their scenes are very, very impactful, very iconic, and I think the only thing you would need to know a little more is that, well, Hirogaru Sky PreCure is a season that the characters are heroes, and they are very heroic. And in terms of Wonderful, I think Wonderful is the one that if you don't understand the Wonderful dynamics, you are going to miss it a little bit. You're not going to understand much. So if you know that the Wonderful PreCure cast doesn't fight physically like the other PreCure seasons, and you also know that Wonderful PreCure is about the relationships between animals and humans, you're good to go for the Wonderful scene. You're going to like it a lot. Benny told me to talk about the fights. And I feel like if you compare this movie to other PreCure movies, I think that the fighting scenes weren't as impactful. The fighting scenes of this movie, they were more or less what we already see in the actual show. A little better, a little more interesting, but nothing like super huge. If you compare it to All Stars F, obviously you're not going to be able to. But if you compare it to the last two PreCure movies, seasonal PreCure movies, Delicious Party and Wonderful, this one was way better in terms of fighting scenes. Wonderful, I mean, let's not even consider, because Wonderful is not a fighting season. Even though it had Hirogaru and Maho, this had way more fights, and the fights were better. And the Delicious Party movie didn't bring any interesting fights. So this one was better too. But I wouldn't consider the fighting scenes of this movie to be like, oh my God, the best ever. They're good. They're fun, but that's it. Harry Huego 197 asked, what is Tera's character about and did you enjoy her? So before I watched the movie, I had no idea what to expect from Tera apart from her being a tsundere. But after I watched the movie, I had to go back to the store to buy her acrylic because I adore her. She is now my favorite movie exclusive character ever in PreCure. She is incredible. Her character is a fragment of Amos, and she still has the resentment that Amos has for idols, but she doesn't know why. Eventually, she opens up and she understands the power of an idol, and she becomes very good friends with Uta and the other cures. They end up saving her in a way. Turquoise Shores asked, their cure prism do cool stuff? She does. And even though the Hirogaru scene is very fast, she does a very, very nice prism shot. It's very cool. Teacup asked, how does Idol in new form fit the plot? Is there an explanation of why she's the only one? Not an explanation as to why she's the only one necessarily, but the moment that this happens in the movie is a moment in which the girls are losing the battle against Amos, and then Cure Idol or Uta, they are detransformed based on Amos' power. Amos overpowers them, and Uta is the one to stand up and invoke the power of what it means to be an idol. She is the one who understood what happened in the past between Amos and the legendary idol. Even though like it was a group effort, she was the one to actually bring this up in this moment of the conversation. And she invoked what it means to be an idol. And because she had a very strong connection with Tera, she wanted to save Tera in this moment. Because at this point, Amos absorbed Tera. And so she was really desperate to save Tera from whatever was going on with her. And so she became the goddess idol style. And the other girls at this point, they look at her and they think it's incredible, but they also say, you reminded me of what it means to be an idol. So they transform again, but they transform into their regular selves. It is a very beautiful moment. You guys have no idea. Oh my God, it's super pretty. And then we have Il Marcos off asking, have you noticed anything that might indicate the theme of the next season? No. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't really pay attention, so I don't know if there might be something, but I don't think, I haven't seen anything particularly. Kirakilala Kirayava asks, how is Kiss and Idol's battle? So this was actually something that the trailer showed us, but it was... they were tricking us because there is no Idol and Kiss battle. We have Uta and Maroon, they were by themselves, and then they transform, and while they're gonna start fighting, the other three arrive. And so it's like a group battle. There is one moment that we already see in the trailer that Idol and Kiss, like they punch together or they kick together, don't remember. But that's it, like everyone is there in this fight. It's a very cool fight. It's a very cool fight. Very nice. So now let's go over the questions from YouTube. Thank you for sharing questions. And the ones that I answered were from Insta, now from the YouTube community tab here at Magical Cinnamon. Yona Kuromatoki asked, what were the origins of the legendary Showa era idol and how was she connected to Amos in the first place? So it's basically what I already talked about, but we don't know much about her. In the movie, she has no name. I think now they have publicized her name somewhere. I don't remember. But in the movie, she is mentioned as Densetsu no Idol, which means legendary idol. That's all we know about her. She has a very beautiful visual. She's like this with this yellow dress. I love it. It's very, very, very like 80s idol style from Japan. Very cool. And we don't know where she comes from. We just know she visited the island. But she is an amazing character. Did the Hirogaru Sky and Wonderful Cures interact in their normie casual forms during the movie? Not necessarily during the movie. After the movie is over, there is the credits scene, and then we see the three movies interacting, like the three seasons interacting in their civilian forms, in the Island, in the Super Miracle Idol Festival. That's all. Before that, we don't. Like in the wonderful PreCure movie that has a little scene. No, it's very Idol PreCure focused. This movie is very Idol PreCure focused. So there's a lot of Idol PreCure on this. And there wasn't much space for anything else, to be honest. What's your reaction about Idol Goddess style form? The best reaction possible. The transformation is out of this world. The way she uses the idol form in the movie, the goddess idol form in the movie, is stunning as well. Incredible. Now for Alvaro 0548. What was Kaito's role in the movie? Kaito's role in this movie was a victim. That's it. So when the girls get to Island, the Yamikura, before they go to the past, the Yamikura attack the island, and they start, like, everything they touch turns to stone. And so they start touching everybody in the island, and they leave the island and they go to other places in the world, turning everything into stone. And that is basically Kaito's role. Do you guys remember that movie that the girls went to watch in You and Idol? I think it was in episode 34. I don't remember. 33. I don't remember. That movie is what Kaito is recording during the You and Idol PreCure the movie. He was in that costume, that tuxedo mask costume. And while he was recording, the Yami Kurage got to where he was, and they turned everyone into stone, including Kaito. That is his appearance in the movie. What about the legendary idol? Do you think they hinted in some way she'll be a permanent character in future episodes, or just a movie exclusive character? She's definitely a movie exclusive character. She's someone from the past. She is someone who has already passed away. I mean, I don't know, maybe she will appear as a mirage in the last episode of You and Idol or something, but I think she's going to be a movie exclusive character. I don't know. Are there many new songs in the movie? Only one, unfortunately, which is Hibiki Ao Uta. It's the entirely new song in the movie, and it has two versions. One of them is performed by all 5 Qers, which is a little bit more up-tempo, and another one is performed by Uta only, which was my favorite scene of the movie. It's a very, very, very beautiful performance. Girl, get ready. Crown Edges asked, does Kaito play any significant role at all? No. Do any other villains from the main show appear in the movie? No. Do Nana and Kokoro sing Hiropri's opening in the movie? Actually, they do. And I'm going to use this question as an explanation. So during the fight against Amas, we have locals from Island rooting for the Qers, and that powers them up. And then they start rooting like, oh my god, the Qers are so cool. What if there were more Qers? And they start rooting for them with the bracelets, and then Hirogaru Sky appears. Like, out of nowhere, Hirogaru Sky appears. And while Hirogaru Sky is fighting, we have Cure Kyun and Cure Wink performing the Hirogaru Sky PreCure opening. It's super cool. Honestly, it's super, super cool. You guys, it's super cool. You can't, I don't know how to explain it. It's super cool. And then the locals are there, and they're like, oh my god, more PreCure. That is so cool. What if there were even more? Let's cheer them on even more. And then Wonderful PreCure join. And while Wonderful PreCure is doing their thing, we have Kyuzukun and Kyurkiss performing the Wonderful PreCure opening. It's really cool. It's really, I mean, as I said, it's way too good. It's way too good. I'm just getting chills just remembering this moment. It's really cool. Mel asked, I love this costume update. Do the others get one too? Unfortunately, no. It was only Cure Idol. HNTRRR93 asked, which PreCure team would you like to be in the movie aside of Hirogaru and Wonderful? Or which team would you like to take their places? I would choose Fresh and Happiness Charge to be in this movie if I could, but I'm very happy with both of them. Wonderful and Hirogaru, they, like, the way they were added in the movie was incredible. Like, it was way too good. So I'm definitely not complaining about them at all. Lisa asked, were you expecting Purina and Madelon's human form to appear, or you put those expectations low to not be disappointed? So when I watched the movie, episode 32 didn't air yet. It didn't exist. So Purina and Madelon didn't have human forms. And in the movie, they don't appear as well. I was not expecting to see them at all because I didn't even know they were going to have human forms in the show. So I was not expecting to see Pudding and Madelon because I didn't know they existed at the time. Did One Prey use any kidnapping powers other than Swan? Of course, only the Swan. What was Madelon's behavior in the entire movie? Is it the personality that was before or after episode 30? After episode 30. She was a little bit harsh on Uta sometimes, but that's just it's just like the transition between the two Madelons. You know, she's already been through, they already have the baton, so she's already been through what happened to her, but she's not entirely 100%, you know, the kind Madelon that she is nowadays. But she's very kind. She's not as strict with Uta, but it was definitely a comedy moment because Uta was very, very stupid in some moment, and Madelon was there to be like the realistic person while they were while it was only Uta and Madelon. So very good dynamic between both of them. Rosie asked, Tera and Uta's story and development, how emotional was it and how it played? It was really emotional, and I feel that's when we cried. I cried, and I heard other people crying. It was because of them. What happened is that when they saved the past, when they purified Amas, Amas became a statue. And because Amas became a statue, her power kind of got solidified, and Tera disappeared. And it was very sad. So they had to come to the present. And in the present, they had to put on the best show ever so that Tera would awaken again. And that's what happened at the end of the movie. So like that's the end of the movie, basically. It is very emotional. Tera's and Uta's relationship is one of the highlights of the movie. Their friendship and how they connect to each other is really nice. Tera's storyline is very cool because she's part of a tribe. But she's part of... I don't know. I don't know if it's a tribe. It's a society. But we don't know. Tera doesn't know why she attracts the Yami Kurage. So she puts everyone around her in danger. So she decides to live by herself. And so she lives a lonely life. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know where she comes from. She doesn't know why she attracts the Yami Kurage. But people wanted her to be there with them. But to protect the people, she stayed by herself. It is a sad, a very sad story, but she's an amazing character, and the development between her and Uta is truly incredible. Lucy asked, did Kirinami interact with the Yami Kurages by chasing them like the other wonderful cures, or was she the only one to physically fight them like she used to? She didn't fight. So it's interesting because the wonderful PreCure moment, Nyami is probably the one who does the least. It's a little sad, actually, since she's my fave, but it just plays out like this. There's a big Yami Kurage, and then the Yami Kurage goes to attack the wonderful cures, and Cure Lillian uses the Lillian net to stop it. And while the monster was stopped in the Lillian net, we have wonderful hugging one of the arms and Friendly hugging the other arm. And then they start talking to the Yami Kurage. And then while they're there, we have that iconic pose of the wonderful PreCure team of Lillian. She is like staying up front, and then Yami touches her back on Lillian's back, and she joins the conversation too. That's what she does. So there is no Nyami fight, unfortunately, because I love her. Andrew asked, do the wonderful PreCure actually fight, or are they glorified cheerleaders? They don't fight. They do the usual hugging that they do. Their scene is very important to the movie, and it connects very well to the philosophy and what happened between Amas and the idol as well. Was there a moment with Cure Butterfly and Cure Kiss combining their Kiss-themed attacks? Unfortunately, no. The teams do not interact while they're fighting. Since the fights are close, are tied into a performance, we have them being very separate. we have every performance. Every song is performed in this movie. And we have this moment of the performance of the Hirogaru opening and the wonderful opening. So while the Hirogaru opening is being sung, only the Hirogaru Cures are fighting, and same for the wonderful. So unfortunately, no interaction in the fight. I would love to see a moment like that, but it didn't happen. Chell loved check-in. Why was Tera disappearing? It was because the idol PreCure, I mean the PreCures in general, they were able to purify Amas. And Tera was part of Amas' power, and Amas became a statue, and because of that, Tera faded away. And as I said, she came back later. So it was sad to see Cure Idol or Uta saying goodbye to her. I was like, no. But it all ended well at the end. Did Red Cure Idol version appeared in the movie? No. Only the goddess power-up. Another question done by Freaky... Oh my god, I lost it. Freaky Nya. Were there any references to Sweet PreCure or Fresh PreCure? Not that I remember. If there were, I totally missed them, unfortunately. Was there any 3D fight scenes? Or if so, were One Prey fighting normally or just dodging? So, as I said, no. One Prey, there were no CG fights. Not that I remember. There were a lot of CG in the movie, but with the performances, the fights were all 2D. And Wonderful didn't fight or dodge. They just purified one of the Yamikurege. Udamen said, when I went to a cinema in Osaka, they had a stamp stand where it was an ink stamp of the Kimi to Idol PreCure movie, and it was so cute. Do you have the stamp? Ramen, I don't. I am so sad because I did not get the stamp. In the movie that there was nothing like that, or maybe there was and I missed it. The movie, the cinema was very huge. I went to an Ikebukuro movie theater, so I don't know if there was one there. And I went to the opening night. I don't know. Lucy also asked, do you plan on getting the movie merch that you didn't get, like the Goddess Idol acrylic and the Ageha Butterfly acrylics and the bromides in the resellers in the future? Lucy, I have already gotten the Goddess Idol acrylics. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. When I went to the store that was there in the theater that I was in, the Goddess Idol acrylic was already sold out. It was the first day. It was already sold out. And I searched in other cinemas that I've been to in Japan. No other cinema had that specific acrylic. I was pissed. And so I was able to get it online through resellers, as you said. I still didn't get the butterfly one, but I really need to. It's from Brujula. I definitely need to get the butterfly one, but I didn't. So that's something I really need to do. Enjoy has asked, what did Kaito do in the movie? Nothing. What was happening when Tara was disappearing and Idol cannot help her? I think that it was basically what I said. Her source of existence was Amas, and Amas was being petrified. She was already purified by the cures. She was petrified, and so Tara kind of disappeared together with Amas' existence. And what was each Idol Cure's reaction when they knew there are more PreCure? They were very happy. They were surprised and happy. They smiled. They gave a big smile, and then they decided to perform because why not? Thankfully. Anthony asked, any Tropical Rouge PreCure reference in the movie? Not that I noticed. Cure Shiny, talk about Hirogaru Sky in the movie. Girl, the Hirogaru Sky scene is everything. Oh my god. So when they arrive, we have Wink and Kyun excited because they perform their opening. So like they get inspired and they start performing the opening. And Hirogaru, they start their scene with Majestic Halation. Is that the name of the attack? I think it is. The group attack of the 5 of them. They do Majestic Halation, and then they start fighting individually. So we have the 5 of them. I think it starts with Cure Prism doing Prism Shot. It's very nice. They don't use the stock footage, so it's like a new animation. And then we have Majesty with Majesty's Our End. And then we have Wing Attack. The only one who does not perform her solo attack is Cure Butterfly from Hirogaru. Because after Wing Attack, Cure Butterfly appears. And then it's very nice because she catches Wing like this. And then she throws him up. And both of them perform Titanic Rainbow Attack. So she does not perform Butterfly Press. I was pissed. But at the same time, I was happy because the scene was cool as hell. And the scene ends with Cure Sky with Sky Punch. If I remember correctly, that was the only attack that was used with stock footage. So she jumps in and then the stock footage starts and then she does Sky Punch. Very nice. Oh my God. The Hirogaru appearance, it was glorious. It was glorious. Love Lala Sama 123 asked, how was the Kimi Pre movie? Did you like it? Girl, I loved it. Incredible. It's already my favorite. It's already my baby. 14 inversion asks, what's Idol's goddess transformation like? Do the others get power-ups or is it a melody, happy, lovely situation? It is a melody, happy, lovely situation. It's only her. And the transformation is very beautiful. It is kind of like a real-time transformation. You know, when they do transformations in PreCure that happen in like real time, that's what happens. And when she transforms, she performs Egao no Unison, which is her song, but it's not a CG performance. It's a 2D performance with that costume. It's amazing. Oh my God, it is amazing. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. FNAF asked, did Tropical Rouge show up or had any reference on it of it? As I said, if it did have any references to Tropical Rouge, I missed it and they didn't appear. Magic Volgirl, how did Cure Idol become a goddess? It was through her sheer will of protecting Terra or saving Terra, and also by wanting to show us that the idol from the past, the legendary idol, actually really liked her and did everything she did to protect her. It was very beautiful. How did everyone react when hearing the stage songs from the show in the big screen? I don't know, because people are very quiet, but I did see some kids with their Kirakilites waving them around while during some performances. So that's very cute. The only thing that I did see, that I did hear, was people crying during certain moments and people laughing in other moments as well, especially with Purirun scenes. It was everything. Shimari Kyla Ace asked, do you think this movie is canon? If so, how could you make the case for it, even if it's a crossover movie? I don't think it is canon, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it is. But at the same time, if it is, it can fit perfectly into the You and Idol PreCure universe. I mean, you can kind of make an argument saying that it is canon because of the Kaito movie, because Kaito was recording his movie and then the movie appeared in the regular show. You know, it could clearly be an adventure that happened after they got the baton. You know, it wouldn't mix the lore of the show at all. You know, there wouldn't be a problem with it. Bianca Bunny asked, did Kaito and Uta get shipped as a couple? Do they sing together? No and no. Kaito barely appears, and when he does appear, he doesn't interact with anyone. Element 31. How big of a role did Wonderful and Hirogaru play in the movie? Not a big role at all. So we have one interesting moment right at the start of the movie. Well, in the first fighting scene, while the girls are fighting the Yamikurage, they look afar and they see that there is a battle happening from afar. And in this battle, we can see the colors and the symbols from Hirogaru. So we see like the butterfly, the pink butterfly. We see the white circle, you know, from the Cures. And we see them in the sky. And so that was the first kind of like reference from Hirogaru in the movie. And then they only join in during the last fight, and they fight a little bit with the Cures. And the last moment of the fight is only You and Idol. I mean, they are the ones to purify Amas, and they do it with the baton song, the Kizuna Ribon song. And after that, we go back to the present, to the Super Miracle Idol Festival. And we have the Cures performing Hibiki ao Uta in the festival, the idol PreCure, the 5 of them. And then we have both Hirogaru Sky and Wonderful joining in on stage to perform the You and Idol opening. So we have all the Cures performing together. This is another moment that they join in. Very, very nice moment. It's very cute. And we also have the credits. The credits scene give us a little bit more on the characters, and they are just having fun in II. It gives us a little bit more on Terra, because Terra comes back at the end based on the performance, because of the power of the performance of the idol PreCure. She comes back, and we don't see her interacting with Idol because the movie ends there. But then we see in the credits, we see scenes in the credits. And then those scenes have Terra in it. And they also have the civilians of the Wonderful and Hirogaru Cures interacting with the other idols, interacting with II Island. It is very, very cute. So this is it. I hope I answered them all. I hope I didn't miss any of them. If I did miss, I'm sorry. But I went over the 2 posts, and I think everything is answered. If you have any more questions, just leave in the comments and I'll answer here in the comments. What an experience this was, my friends. This movie is great, and it's coming out next year on DVD and Blu-ray, and everyone is going to be able to enjoy it. It's going to be a blast. I cannot wait to watch it. I need to see it again. Anyways, babies, thank you all to everyone who sent their questions. I hope my answers were enough, and I hope you're satisfied with them. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that watches Magical Cinnamon, because if it wasn't for this channel, I would never be able to go to Japan, because it helps me a lot. It helped me a lot together, obviously, with my regular work. It also helped me a lot. So thank you very, 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 very much for this. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.